The series of killings began in South Los Angeles in the summer of 1985 and continued with some frequency until 1988, when a female survivor was raped and shot. She lived to describe her attacker as black, in his 20s, 5'8" to 5'10", about 160 pounds, soft-spoken and articulate, with neatly trimmed hair and a pockmarked face.
They are certain 57-year-old Lonnie Franklin Jr. is the Grim Sleeper suspect. He's accused of murdering 10 people during a crime spree that went on for more than 20 years.
Some of Franklin's victims suffered from drug addiction and occasionally did sex work to support their habits. Police said he initiated sexual consent with his victims before brutally murdering them. The first known victim of the Grim Sleeper, Deborah Jackson, who was shot 3 times in the chest, Deborah Jackson, 29, was found August 10, 1985, in an alley near West Gage Avenue in the Vermont Slauson area, authorities said. At the time of Jackson's death, the city was in a particularly dark period, when widespread cocaine use, rampant crime and vicious killings were rife in South Los Angeles. 3 years passed before police realized that something larger was occurring, when ballistics tests showed that the same handgun used to kill Jackson had been used in 7 different killings. Henrietta Wright, 35, was found dead of multiple gunshot wounds on August 12, 1986, in an alley near the 2500 block of West Vernon Avenue in Hyde Park, authorities said. At the time of her death, Lieutenant Joseph Ria, Chief of Detectives for the Los Angeles Police Department's 77th Street Division, said he had no suspects in the killing. Wright's body was found under a discarded mattress. She may have been killed elsewhere and dumped in the alley, said the Chief of Detective. It was not until later that Los Angeles police tied Wright's death to the work of a serial killer who had first struck the previous year. She is believed to be the second of 11 victims of the Grim Sleeper. Barbara Ware, 23, was found dead January 10, 1987, in the 1300 block of East 56th Street in the Central Alameda area, authorities said. A man who said he saw Ware's body being dumped called 911 to report what he had seen. According to a transcript of the call, the man, who said he wished to remain anonymous because he knew too many people, said someone threw her out. The only thing you can see out is her feet. He also reported a full license plate number for the van the body had been dumped from. The van described by the caller was located by police in a church parking lot about 4.5 miles away from where Ware's body was found. Bernita Sparks was found dead April 15, 1987, in the 9400 block of Southwestern Avenue in Gramercy Park, authorities said. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, she had been shot with a small caliber gun. Sparks' body was discovered in a trash bin. Mary Lowe, 26, was found dead October 31, 1987, in the 8900 block of Western Avenue in Gramercy Park, authorities said. Her body was dumped in an alley and covered up, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. She had been shot with a small caliber gun, police said. Lacrica Jefferson, 22, was found dead January 30, 1988, in the 2000 block of West 102nd Place in the Westmont area, authorities said. Alicia Monique Alexander, 18, was found dead September 11, 1988, in an alley near 43rd Place and Western Avenue in Vermont Square. Princess Berta Mux, 15, was found strangled and beaten March 19, 2002, in an Inglewood alley. Her nude body was found by a passerby in the shrubs, according to coroner's records, although the coroner gave the date her body was found as March 9, 2002. Officials from the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office said her body was found 10 days later. Burtonix had last been seen by her family on December 21, 2001, the police said. Larry McCorvey, 35, was found dead July 11, 2003, on Denker Avenue between 108th and 109th Streets in the Westmont area. Near the time of McCorvey's death, Franklin faced up to 3 years in prison after pleading no contest to receiving stolen property. As part of a plea agreement with prosecutors, however, he was sentenced to jail only for 270 days. Once he entered jail, Franklin again benefited from Los Angeles' overburdened justice system. Sheriff's officials were releasing inmates early to ease overcrowding in the county's jails. 2 months later, a crossing guard in the Westmont area of the city stumbled across McCorvey's lifeless body. She had suffered trauma to her neck, the police said. Janesha Peters, 25, was found dead January 1, 2007, in the 9500 block of Southwestern Avenue in Los Angeles. She had been shot and covered with a garbage bag. A homeless man looking for cans discovered her body and called authorities, according to coroner's records and police. She was initially listed as an unknown female. When DNA tests linked her killer to earlier killings, then Police Chief William J. Bratton ordered the creation of a task force to investigate the serial killer later dubbed the Grim Sleeper, because the killer had a more than decade-long break in his known killings. Unable to identify the killer outright, they turned to a new and controversial technique, looking for matching familial DNA markers in their databases that would indicate a possible relative of the suspect already in the system. Finally, after more than 2 decades, investigators made a break in the case with unintentional assistance from Franklin's son, Christopher, who was convicted on a felony weapons charge in 2009. During his incarceration, a DNA sample was taken. Shortly thereafter, the LAPD ran another DNA search. Police told that Christopher's DNA matched in so many ways, they knew he was a close relative of the Grim Sleeper. Lonnie Franklin Jr., Christopher's father, soon emerged as the prime suspect. Starting in July 2010, an undercover surveillance team began watching Franklin's every move, according to the Los Angeles Times. On July 5, Franklin was trailed to a family birthday party at a pizzeria in Orange County. A detective disguised as a busboy collected a half-eaten slice of pizza, a fork, 2 napkins, 2 plastic cups and a piece of chocolate cake from Franklin's table, which was then rushed to the LAPD's DNA lab for testing. His DNA matched with the samples found at the Grim Sleeper crime scenes. On July 7, police arrived at Franklin's South Los Angeles home to take the 57-year-old serial killer into custody. He was charged with 10 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Police would find the gun that killed Janesha Peters and numerous Polaroids of his victims during a search of his residence. In May 2016, Lonnie Franklin Jr. was found guilty of 10 counts of first-degree murder, and 1 count of attempted murder. The DNA evidence featured heavily in his 2-month trial, along with ballistic evidence, linked him to each of the 10 murder victims. Franklin, aka the Grim Sleeper, was sentenced to death in Los Angeles County on August 10, 2016. For 10 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He arrived onto death row on August 17, 2016 for all of his wishes killings. The 67-year-old Franklin was found dead in his prison cell at California's San Quentin State Prison on March 28, 2020. There were no signs of trauma on his body. His cause of death and the results of the autopsy was not ever released publicly.